Welcome back to Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
The party leaves the building after Ethaniel guided Ella to the afterlife, and Guitar Bard starts leading everyone to the waterfall that Nashun was staying at. Once they meet up, they catch up on what the other has been up to and how each other are doing. Sarah then approaches and informs the party that the Quakers think the party had killed Monty and make a group decision to face them straight forward. As they are walking, Nashun is informed that they need to head south, for someone is at the town waiting for Bard. But at the same time, Bard was away from the party, keeping an eye on things. On one of his stops behind a tree, looking around, he sees a child all alone playing, to which he starts to follow the child in order to protect them. As they're on the run, the child takes a turn, and when Bard turns, all that's in front of him is a shed, with a giggling being heard inside. When Bard opens the door, the child is seen hanging with their eyes hanging out, a Bard mask in there, and written on the wall, "Too little, too late." And all around him, he starts hearing the laughter and the cackle of Hamus, all around him without being seen. Bard, with tears in his eyes, runs back to the party as fast as he could, the party looking confused. With fear stricken within Bard, he explains to them that they must get going. On their walk, Limewell informs Bard that they met a man who was looking for bards or people with musical talents. With even more fear, Bard demands that they leave immediately and start heading south. On their travel, they make a stop and set up a camp, to which Bard goes more into depth about Hamus and his life. And he tells them about Hamus. He allows everyone to see his face and scars, a scar on his chest and a scar on his eye. After some time, everyone starts to get some rest, and the only ones awake are Nashun and Ethaniel. As the night continues, Nashun begins to open up to Ethaniel and starts telling him that all the miracles with the dead children and how he was the one that gave the knife to Ethaniel. Night passes and they come across this area that has waterfalls spewing left and right with a manor nearby. A woman just outside greets them and offers them to stay and rest for a while, with a man nearby mentioning that they don't get visitors very often. They went by Deborah and Jerry, to which Ethaniel greets himself and the rest of the party to the couple. As they are getting a tour of the place, Limewell and Nashun go towards the pond nearby. Bard visits the music room within the house, and Ethaniel and Ohm sit by the edge of the pond. As Bard is exploring the music room, he is met with a machine Bard was not well known with. What he saw was a gramophone, and a song starts playing. And as he listens to the song, he notices a leather book that reads, "Tales of the Elemental Bards," and learns of what the bards of this world were capable of. After reading the tales, Bard makes his way back towards the pond and meets up with Limewell and Nashun on a small boat out in the pond. While on the waters, Bard tells Limewell and Nashun about his trips across worlds and some companions he had traveled with in the past. After some time out in the waters, the party is called for dinner, and on their way back, Nashun goes down to the stream to cleanse himself from the psychic link of Morocco. On his way down, he notices a passageway that is blocked by a small stone, and he decides to move the stone. Once he removes the stone, he heads down and is met by a wooden door, and on the stone wall are the spots to hook chains in front of the door is to prevent it from being opened, but the chains are no longer present. As he opens the door, he is met with a room that is unbelievably beautiful, with extinguished candles around, and in the center of the room is an alien-looking black disc. Upon further inspection, Nashun also notices that on the walls were dried-out bloodstains that have been around for quite some time. After some time of thinking, Nashun then notices that this room isn't just oddly familiar. In fact, he had seen this room before. He had seen it in a past vision quite some time ago. A vision of a boy with a hole in his chest, and a man in a white robe coming to get him and leaving the room. Nashun then leaves, the room to continue going to the stream, and sticking out of a nearby rock is a metal pan that reads, "I'd figure you needed this." June then takes the pan and digs into the sand, shaking it with the pan. June had found a pan full of gold.